We'll see if the UConn women against Georgia will be just as exciting. We'll be here to keep you updated throughout the night. Let's send you out to Bridgeport.
Trey, thank you very much from the arena at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport, Connecticut. It's the Bridgeport Regional of the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Orbit. Our second semifinal game is the third seed in this region. The Georgia Lady Bulldogs at 23-8 against the Huskies of UConn, 31-4. The winner of this game will take on the Blue Devils of Duke, who easily handled Michigan State in the first semifinal game to advance to the championship. Mike Patrick, Doris Burke, Holly Rowe. Glad to have you with us from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Doris, how about your star watch?
Tasha Humphrey has the frame and skills to dominate on the boxer with her face-up ability. Barbara Turner is healthy for the first time in a while, has elevated her play in the postseason, plays bigger than her 5'10" frame.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups for Georgia. Alexis Kendrick is starting the 132nd game of her career. That's a Georgia record. For UConn, the Huskies' only first-team All-Big East performer, that is, and Strother, also their top three-point shooter. This telecast available on ESPN2 HD, presented by Dish Network. And we are underway in Bridgeport. Georgia controls the opening tip. Alexis Kendrick, number 31. And try to get it to Humphrey virtually every possession because she is the go-to player. Long shot from outside by Dara. Offensive rebound to Georgia.
We've got excellent speed and athleticism from the Georgia guards. Connecticut will have to check out from 5 spots.
That time they tried to get it inside, knocked away. Good Connecticut defense. And running the floor very well. They get down. Here's the pass to Strother. Can't take advantage of the semi-fast break. Good defense by Tasha Humphrey. She knocks it away, and Dara recovers. Humphrey will go outside, in and out on the jumper. She has tremendous range, a great scorer, as well as a very good shooter.
And because of all those guards around Tasha Humphrey, it is hard to give her more than one defender.
Little weave outside for Montgomery. This is Strother way off on the three. Both teams a little tight shooting coming out of the locker room.
Connecticut is at its best when they run the floor and get in transition.
Megan Dara, who averages 10.5 points a game, gets the first bucket.
She is a nice-looking player. Ideally, they'd like to run her at the three. Because of the injuries, and we'll document that throughout the course of this game, Georgia has so many injuries, she's had to move up to that 4 spot.
Good penetration by Turner.
This is a Connecticut team. When you get them in a half court, they are not the prettiest team to watch. When they run and put pressure on you with transition points, they're much harder to guard.
Georgia, on the other hand, has been an exceptional offensive team. They simply try to outscore people, and they're very quick. The Queen of Thieves. Sherelle Baker is the best thief you have ever seen in women's college basketball. Almost 5 a game, she leads the NCAA.
The quickest combination of hands and feet that you will see. She is a force to be reckoned with on the defensive side, and her mid-range game is exceptional.
When she picks it off, she is gone. Offensive rebound to Wilnette Crockett.
This is something you don't see Georgia do often. The zone defense, good job by Barbara Turner to attack it.
They lost 4 post players, and not just 4 big bodies. They lost 2 players who have pro potential before the season even started. And Andy Landers has just done a superb job finding a way to keep this team together, finding a way to win without people he truly counted on.
You think about Georgia teams, Mike, and you think dogged man-to-man pressure defense. They have had to play a lot of zone, and that call gets Andy Landers up and off the bench in a hurry.
Boy, you know, it just grates at him to have to play zone, to have to play soft man-to-man. And there you see his record in 27 years, averaged 24.5 wins a game every year at Georgia.
I think it should be in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. And he has certainly earned that honor. Has been to the Final Four, has been in a national championship game.
And you wonder how he couldn't be. You're right. And Gino Auriemma will be inducted into the Women's Hall of Fame and is also a finalist for the Naismith Hall of Fame this year. Our congratulations to him. Strother from the baseline, and you can tell there is a huge UConn contingent here, as always. They travel very, very well.
Always, no matter where they are. And Holly Rowe talked to Gino Auriemma before the game. He said Barbara and Ann would be critical to his team's chances tonight. They've both gotten off to good starts.
Now, this is a club that does not, UConn, does not have the toughness of past Connecticut teams, it seems. They don't have that really vocal leader like a Tarashi or somebody who's going to motivate you. Alexis Kendrick from outside. Kendrick, a 33% three-point shooter on the year.
Well, not only does Georgia have quality guards, they have experienced quality guards. This is not a team that will fold up under pressure.
Mel Thomas is number 25. She's in the backcourt with Montgomery, the freshman.
The 2-3 zone by Georgia. You might see them concede some interior baskets if they're out of position.
Thomas really had to force that one with the shot clock running down. Most of the passing is around the top of that zone on that possession.
And they are nowhere near as effective in that half court. They struggle because they don't have that one go-to player in a half court set.
It's really a contrast in the way to play basketball between these two teams. And this one's knocked down from the outside by Alexis Kendrick. She has hit 2 3-pointers, has 6 early in the ballgame.
You wonder if the defenders now take a step closer to Kendrick. Do you step up to the challenge a bit more, make her think about it?
Almost the steal for Sherelle Baker. You turn your head, she's ready to swipe it from you. Georgia with a good start. The Lady Bulldogs on top, 10-6. 14:42 to go first half. Begin with Holly Rowe.
Well, you called her the Queen of Thieves earlier, and for Georgia, Sherelle Baker is just that. The all-time career leader in steals for both Georgia and the Southeastern Conference. Now, one of the key matchups to keep your eye on tonight, here is this experienced defensive genius, Sherelle Baker, going against a true freshman, and Connecticut is saying that Renee Montgomery has got to get into a rhythm, not allow Baker to disrupt her tonight. Already we've seen Baker with 1 steal and another deflection, so that will be a key matchup to keep your eye on tonight.
All right, thank you very much, Holly. A miss and a foul underneath on Connecticut, and it's on Sharday Houston, who has checked in for the first time. The ballyhooed sophomore from San Diego is now operating as the first player off the bench. And there's the travel called on Strother as she was bothered by Baker.
Now this guard contingent for Georgia, Mike, when you look at Baker, Kendrick, and Hardrick, 320-plus starts. You can't get much more experience than that.
Where would they have possibly been if only a couple of those post players had survived the preseason without injury? Humphrey fouled on the way in, and this girl is just a sensational player. Here's what we're talking about. Racina Russell left because of chronic knee problems. She had just been injured so often. Robinson, 6'5", tore up an ACL. Rousey, 6'3", tore up an ACL. A minute and 15 seconds into the first preseason game. A minute 15. That's horrible.
And you think about how dominant Tasha Humphrey has been. She's really playing out of position. She's a natural four, been asked to play the center spot, and has played it seamlessly. She gave you a look at some of her skills on that trip to the free throw line. The ability to go off the bounce, and you've got to respect her jump shooting ability. So you've got to close out smart.
Loose ball, here comes Baker. She can really fly. Handles it so beautifully in the open court. Sherelle Baker, third in the SEC in scoring this year at 18-7. Tasha Humphrey was second at 19-9. That's a deadly 1-2 punch. 10-point run, 10-0, and they lead 14-6. Doris, if you're Gino Auriemma, you've got that timeout. What do you do? What do you tell your team?
Well, you made the point earlier that this is not your traditional Connecticut team where there's a toughness and edginess of Diana Taurasi. I think its psyche is fragile. It has to draw confidence from him, so how he handles them is very important tonight.
Tisha Chouanier, number 11, is into the ball game. She has great quickness on the outside. Maybe she can give them some penetration.
She changes the tempo. This is an up-tempo speed performer, Chouanier.
Nice follow shot by Barbara Turner, the senior out of Cleveland, with good position inside. At 6 feet, she is a much better rebounder than her size would indicate.
Only 5'10", and she took it as a personal affront that people don't think they can win without Diana Taurasi.
What range on that shot? Janice Hardrick off the bench. Powder Springs, Georgia, and she bombs one.
The only guard who does not shoot a great percentage from three is Baker, and she more than makes up for that at speed. You've got to guard 4 spots.
This will be a backcourt violation. The 5th turnover against UConn in the first 7 minutes of the game. You can't play that way against Georgia. Sherelle Baker will have 30.
And Hardrick, a player who is able to come off the bench and spot up and shoot threes as well.
Baker with a runner. She's fouled on the way in. And the foul will be on Kalena Green, who is in for the first time, a freshman from St. Stephen, South Carolina.
Both of these teams like to shoot the ball from three from the wing positions. Obviously, Georgia off to a little bit better start.
Corey Chambers is back in there. She wears number 21. And she'll give it up to Hardrick. Strother guarding her in the man-to-man. Georgia with that 1-4 set. They get it to Humphrey inside. Way off on that one. And that may be a travel on Houston, who has been really shaky coming in. 2 fouls and a turnover in about a minute and a half.
Well, this team is a mystery, and perhaps no one personifies that more than Sharday Houston. At one moment, brilliant. The next moment, maddening. You give her an opportunity if you're Gino Auriemma, but if she does that 3 or 4 times, she will sit the pines for the rest of the night.
Baker, who is just so quick. A nice set of guards for Georgia. Hardrick got caught up in the air. Still got rid of it. Shot clock is at 1. Hardrick has to unload. Nearly made it. Offensive rebound. Georgia just much quicker to the ball.
Yeah, and Connecticut fails to check out. They play 28 great seconds of defense and then don't finish the job.
And Gino Auriemma, not upset. He almost looks resigned. He's just bothered by the way his team is playing early.
This is going to be a piece of communication. I thought perhaps Georgia tipped this thing.
And it's out to UConn. A break for the Huskies. They'll have the ball when we come back, and they need a break. They're down by 9. On 17-8, 11:36 to go. First half of play from Bridgeport, Connecticut. This year marks the 25th anniversary of the NCAA Women's Championship. To celebrate, we're counting down the top 25 championship moments through the championship game on April 4th. Time now to spotlight moment number 5, brought to you by Singular. In a matchup of perennial powerhouses, UConn and Tennessee battled for the national title in 2004. The Huskies won 70-61, extending the streak for Gino Auriemma's club. UConn wins 3 national championships in a row. The men and women have done it in the same year.
That was the first time that both a men's and women's team from a Division I school were able to win both the men's and women's title, and their history is pretty impressive, Mike.
And look what they have done under Gino Auriemma. 95, 2000, 02, 03, and 04. They won national championships. Absolutely remarkable. Houston can't hit, and Humphrey with a loose ball. Houston, somebody who has to give him some offense. She had 22 points, 14 rebounds when they played LSU. She has had her best game in big situations. Tonight would be a big situation. Offensive rebound, Humphrey, and she gets the follow. Tasha with 4 early, and it's 19-8.
Tasha gets over 3 offensive boards a game. That is a habit that she is very good at. Gets great position inside. Look at her shoulder. That frame is built to operate around the rim.
Strother turns it over on the next possession down, and that's 7th against UConn here in the first half. And Georgia has made them pay. Here comes Brittany Hunter into the ball game. And Gino Auriemma trying to punch all the buttons and look for something that's going to work for him. And let's check in with Holly.
So listening into that last Connecticut huddle, Gino Auriemma, as you can say, very frustrated. He told his team, it looks like we're attacking the zone like it's the first time we've ever seen it. It looks like we've never even practiced this. Then he looked at his players and said, it's just awful watching you play out there. The seniors kind of looked at each other, started yelling, started clapping as if to say, we've got to get better, we've got to perform more. But right now, a lot of frustration on this UConn sideline.
Holly, he is one of the great motivators in coaching that I have ever met. The things he says to kids can really get them fired up. He knows when to put that dagger in there, too. Offensive rebound on the missed shot, and Georgia just so much quicker to anything loose than UConn is.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Speed is killing in this basketball game, at least for the first 9.5 minutes of it. Now, Brittany Hunter, a player who can only go about 10 to 15 minutes, but you're right. Gino Auriemma is just trying to pull whatever punch he might be able to get in that bag and use it.
She wears the brace on that knee, still suffering the effects of knee surgery. Look at the quickness. Then she missed the shot. Humphrey with a follow, knocked out of bounds, and it's still out to Georgia.
Well, great read by Sherelle Baker. She wasn't able to complete, but Barbara Turner doesn't have the foot speed to go out and guard her at 15. The crossover sells it when the defense collapses. That left the wide open weak side.
Humphrey with fade away. No.
Couple of really good looks, but Georgia comes away with nothing. Now, can Connecticut get anything going on this side of the ball?
Trying to run the weave. They get very little penetration. Montgomery, 15, put her too strong. Look at Baker. Skies the rebound, kicks it out to Kendrick. UConn did a good job of getting back on defense. Humphrey working inside against Hunter. She wants the ball every trip down. I'd make sure she got it most of the time.
Well, Connecticut looks like in a soft man-to-man. They're giving a little cushion here.
Baker, runner, got it.
That young lady has put in the time to become a better offensive player. She was a specialist early, just a defender, used her quickness to be effective. Now she's become an offensive player. Humphrey
nearly got the steal. Not only is Baker #1 in steals all time at Georgia and in the SEC, but she's the #9 scorer for the Lady Bulldogs.
She does not shoot it from distance, but you will not find anybody faster with a release off a pull-up jump shot in that mid-range than Sherelle Baker.
Georgia dominating this game, 21-8. Strother, she has to make three-point shots for UConn to have a chance, but they're out of her range.
Yeah, and Connecticut, 7 turnovers, just 4 buckets. It is never a good thing when your turnover number exceeds field goals.
Humphrey, that's kicked. Strother preventing it from getting in.
So now with Swanier and Montgomery on the floor, they're trying to push tempo even more. You've got your fastest 2 players out there.
And Swanier had her back to the ball, never saw it come out loose, could have had the easy turnover. And Gino Auriemma just sits down and slumps in his seat. Everything going the Lady Bulldogs' way. Pressure. Georgia doing anything it can to speed up the tempo here. And another turnover as Turner stumbles going down the lane. Quickly back the other way. Chambers with a miss. And look at this, another offensive rebound, and it's Baker, the smallest player on the court.
They have to be so smart about where they come with pressure. Georgia can only pick spots. Now, in the past, he's an all-out 40 minutes in your grill kind of coach. But he's been so good with his team this season, Andy Landers.
Baker, another loose ball recovery by Georgia. 7 on the shot clock. Kendrick. And the rebound goes to Hunter. UConn needs something good to happen.
Georgia out of that zone and into a man-to-man.
Turner gets it off, and the jump shot no good by Hunter. Turner with a follow, and she's fouled. About the first thing that's gone well in the last 5 minutes for UConn. The number 2 seed down 15 points to number 3 Georgia.
Georgia dominating UConn 23-8. Well, Georgia could have really cried in their milk and had a bad season with all of those injuries. But Andy Landers said the players have been terrific and they have not given in despite their limited numbers.
The great thing about it was our team never flinched. Our team didn't look over its shoulder and ask why us. In the months subsequent to all that, I've never heard them say what if.
Now, they have had to make some adjustments, Doris and Mike. They have had to limit practice time. They've had to limit what and how much they do in practice time because he wants to keep their legs fresh. For example, today, every team shot around for 50 minutes except Georgia, the most important thing, keeping the legs fresh. They've also adjusted their strength and training and weight system throughout the season. I'll give you more on that later, but a season with big adjustments for Georgia, Doris.
Well, Holly, I'll tell you this is a team that fundamentally has changed its constitution and what it has always hung its hat on. That man-to-man, in-your-face, stifling pressure, 94 feet. But the reality is you've got to manage what you have, and Andy Landers has been brilliant in doing that.
But you know what, as good as coaches are, some people can't do that.
Yes.
You know, they have a system, they have a way of doing things, and that's the way it's going to be. He has done an exceptional job. He's been the essence of a coach this year.
Yeah, there's no question. Connecticut looking for answers. That free throw broke a spell of 6 minutes without a point, and that is something they have experienced. Long spells without scoring has Connecticut.
Now, their offense has just killed them at times this year, and certainly with 13 minutes already played, they've only scored 10 points. The offense isn't doing its part tonight. Swanier with that great speed hustles down court, can't make anything out of it, but Montgomery does.
You know, told us yesterday she is as good a shooter as a freshman guard as he has had. Are you thinking about Jen Rosati and Sue Bird? That's pretty high praise.
And she was the Big East Freshman of the Year, and that has the UConn fans back in this. Here's a turnover. Montgomery left alone, takes another one and makes it. 2 in a row from outside, and that gets him going and scores.
And Andy Landers is in Corey Chambers' face, giving it to her right now.
You just can't go to sleep on somebody who has perimeter skill.
Yeah, she is a 35% three-point shooter, is Renee Montgomery. You gave her one, so you step a little closer, and that contest hand better be up. This is a young girl who's got some confidence about her game.
She had made 34 coming into this ball game. She's hit 2 in a row in this one. And when shooters get a little bit of confidence and get on a roll, they want to shoot it every time down.
Now does Corey Chambers take Andy Landers, shall we call it instruction, and play a little bit better defense? We'll see.
Hardrick, Strother, full court pressure here. Guerra goes in the backcourt to help out.
Just a little bit of a different look. Connecticut is a team that will change defenses.
Andy Landers said this team has not had to be as good defensively because they have been so good offensively. Humphrey stripped on the way up. Nice play by Strother. Here comes Soignier again. Nice feed inside, knocked away. Strother with a save. Feeds it in, basket and the foul. Houston gets the bucket, draws the personal.
You wondered about the fragile psyche that Connecticut has at times shown this season. They went down by a very big margin, but they're getting back on the defensive end. Tough pass, not a lot of spacing. Great hands from Strother, and that gets them out in transition. Strother with a nice inside pass, and maybe, just maybe, Sharday Houston can get started offensively, because when she plays at a high level on the offensive end, it changes Connecticut drastically.
Thought Strother got away with one on that replay. Didn't look like she got much ball. It was a lot of forearm. But UConn with a great close here. They're within 6. Is that a foul or backcourt?
I think they're going to say a backcourt. She was straddling the line, and indeed it is a turnover.
That's 7 against Georgia, and Andy Landers explodes.
Well,
he says, how can you make that call all the way at the other side of the court when you're standing right there?
I think officiating is a lot about angles. And if an official has a better look at it, I don't think there's a problem with coming across as long as they're clear in what they saw, Mike.
Well, he didn't like the lack of a call from Denise Brooks Clauser. She was standing about 2 feet from it. He thought that was her call. No basket, a travel call, and Gino Auriemma explodes and pounds the scorer's table. Neither coach happy.
Well, you wonder now, because Connecticut's defense has been stellar. This little diamond-looking pressure. You've got one guard out front, Strother. They attack the middle of the floor, but it's made Georgia passive. You notice the tempo of Georgia, that speed is less of a factor with that pressure being extended.
Momentum is remarkable stuff. Hardrick with a miss. One and done again for the Lady Bulldogs. Soignier has made a difference with her speed. Montgomery open again. That's 3. Connecticut on a 14-2 run. You've got to get on the shooter.
Contest shots, especially when someone makes a couple in a row.
That'll be a foul on Houston. That's her 3rd here in the first half. Houston will have to sit down at the 4:17 mark. But really, as quick as Georgia is, you wouldn't think they'd be bothered by this press, but they sure have been.
Well, you know what I'm surprised at is their mentality against it. They're being so passive. Attack the pressure to score. Make UConn pay for coming at you.
Exactly. But you see so many people attack the way they have. It's just attacking, trying to get the ball away from the press rather than to go to the basket. Here's an offensive foul on Dara. Another turnover. That's 2 fouls on Dara, and everything now going UConn's way.
Well, the reason it is, Mike, is they're playing stellar defense. Wilnett Crockett comes over in assistance on dribble penetration.
All the way on the drive, Soignier. And the backup point guard has used her speed and quickness to make a difference as they cut the lead to 1.
If you allow Soignier to get deep penetration, she's going to attack the rim. You've got to do your job early with her.
Humphrey open, fouled from behind by Wilnett Crockett. She did not give her the easy bucket. Neither coach happy with a turn of events on a couple of calls. And the emotions and the style of play upbeat here at the regional.
18-0 run to get UConn back in at Stace.
Yeah, they tighten up the defense. They go to a zone. They protect the paint and force the outside shot, but something else they're not doing.
Well, yeah, I agree with Doris Burke. The passive nature of the Georgia perimeter. It's incumbent upon the seniors, Sherelle Baker, Alexis Kendrick, get your team in an aggressive nature on offense.
When all else fails, always agree with Doris Burke. Let's send it back to Doris and Mike. They'll finish up the first half, and we'll be here to tell you everything you need to know at the break.
I wish I could get my husband to ascribe to that philosophy, Trey Wingo. Agree with Doris Burke always.
Hey, we agree a lot, you know? It's easier that way. Let's go to Holly.
Well, that last Georgia huddle was not a place you'd want to be. Andy Landers, needless to say, fired up. What he said to his team is they're not getting anything on offense that we haven't given them by poor positioning on perimeter defense. He said, how long are you going to let them take this momentum? He looked at his players, no one answered. He said, seriously, how long are you going to give them the momentum? Still no answer. We'll see if somebody will answer on the court.
Well, they gave up a 16-2 run, Holly. Turner inside to Strother, in and out, and then Strother knocks it out of bounds. So they tried to post Strother up instead of having her outside shooting the perimeter shot, and it didn't work.
Well, remember that Gino Auriemma has run and Strother at the 4 spot. Now, he inverted her on that play only because Sherelle Baker was guarding her. That's a chip knee you normally see her put home.
Trying to get it to Humphrey inside. Humphrey recovers on the loose ball. Good ball movement. Humphrey's open for 3, short on the jumper. Here comes UConn. Montgomery. One-hand bounce pass. She recovers.
They're not doing a very good job stopping Soignier and Montgomery early, Mike. I'd meet them at the half-court line at the very least. You get them a full head of steam going, and they're a better and more dangerous player.
Soignier certainly made a huge difference. Strother off the baseline, and she's just been stone cold. Good hustle here, and they're going to say this one was off Georgia. Looked like Turner got a hand on it for UConn. Both coaches working the officials. They have not been happy the last few calls either way. Basket and the foul.
Earlier this year, against Louisville on the road, Connecticut had overcome its largest deficit. It was 8 points, and this was the player who led them at that point, and it's the player who's leading them tonight. Perhaps the most unlikely of suspects. Renee Montgomery is a capable shooter. She burned him from 3. This time off the bounce with contact. Young guard is a talented basketball player.
She has 11, and UConn can take the lead. Short, tipped outside. Montgomery has it. They'll reset. What a comeback by the Huskies. Boy, they look dead to me.
No energy about them.
I think the tongue lashing they got inside and that timeout from Gino Auriemma may have had a little boost to their step, and Andy Landers upset about this call. Thought he had a good block.
And there is the largest deficit. January 31st versus Louisville. Montgomery was stellar. They were down 15 tonight. We looked like dead in the water. To us, at least, Mike Patrick.
Absolutely.
We thought they were dead in the water.
Barbara Turner hits the shot, and UConn is on top by a point. Both of these coaches, terrific motivators. They know the right things to say to get their kids pumped up. And look at UConn's intensity on defense, especially since Soignier has come in. She's done a heck of a job.
Been a good lineup with both guards.
Pass too high for Humphrey. And they stepped on the baseline, lose the ball.
But Connecticut is a team that confuses people defensively. They will play a soft man. They're not opposed to coming with some junk. They threw a triangle or two when they faced Rutgers earlier in the year. You have to make the right reads and be assertive in how you attack their defense.
Baker's been quiet lately. .142 to go first half. Georgia has seen Connecticut explode after they were down to come back and take the lead. And they're not getting much penetration, and it's going to be an offensive foul away from the ball. Alexis Kendrick. And Andy Landers out at midcourt.
You better be careful here, Mike.
Any further, you need a uniform.
Well, let's see if he's got reason to be upset. We always get the benefit of a second look. There is Humphrey and Crockett working hard, trying to get post position, and the left elbow.
Oh, that's Humphrey.
That's Humphrey. That's an offensive foul.
And clearly on the replay, you can see a little forearm, a little elbow, and then Andy Landers, he knew he was going to get a technical on that one. You go out that far on the court, you're asking for it, and he got it. Strother hits the free throw, and of course that is also a motivational tool used by coaches. We're going to get a technical, and we'll show you how upset we can get.
That's exactly right. You just took the words right out of my mouth. You wonder if he isn't trying to maybe inspire his team a little bit.
UConn has now gotten its biggest lead at 30-26, and certainly as a coach, you're trying to do something to stop this tremendous run that the Huskies have had.
You're trying to get in the locker room. You want to play as solid as you can for the last minute and 26. But now Georgia's psyche is being tested. How do they respond? Not well defended.
Backdoor, great cut, great pass by Crockett. Holy cow, what a different UConn team in the second 10 minutes than they were in the first 10. Baker back the other way, and Baker is fouled.
Well, just watch this timing play that Connecticut sets up. They're going to run a backdoor on this side of the floor eventually. And it's a great play. There it is. Isolation. Soigné goes backdoor. All defensive help is taken out of the equation, Mike Patrick. And the pass and the cut have both got to be well-timed, and they were.
Hardrick will come out. Basically, Georgia plays with 6 people. That's it. That's why they have had to adjust what they do this year because of the lack of depth, and they lost all the big kids before the season even started.
Yep. And you know what? Getting here is a good help to them. Michael Jordan always used to say in playoff basketball, when you're struggling, get yourself to the free throw line. Well, this is playoff basketball in the NCAA.
Mini timeouts.
Yes.
1 minute to go, first half. UConn has just exploded here, and Montgomery has had a sensational 10-minute stretch. Misses the shot, but the rebound and the follow by Turner and the foul.
No one is checking Barbara Turner off the offensive glass. I believe that's number 3.
It is, on Megan Dara.
Barbara Turner is 5'10.5" on a good day, but she has an ability to play bigger than her size.
It's the free throw. Well, I'm always amazed at the listed heights as opposed to the true height, because she's listed at 6 feet. But you see her stand next to somebody at 6 feet and you go, wait a minute. What a run by UConn. They're up by 6. Could you believe they did this the way they started this game?
Well, you know, when they're at their best, everyone always talk about Connecticut's offense when they won those 3 straight titles. The reality is they were a great defensive team, and that's how you win championships.
Well, they're playing some great D right now. They have been for the second half of this first half. Shot clock is down to 3. They'll have to try the long 3. Baker offensive rebound, short on the follow. The next one won't go, and here's a rebound and a foul on Wilnette Crockett as Desiree Bostic comes in for some rare minutes for her and gets a rebound. And the foul will be on Crockett. That's number 2 on the senior from Harbor City, California.
Tasha Humphrey wisely on the bench. You do not want her picking up a cheapie here.
Bostic with a miss. Another loose ball rebound to Georgia. That's what they did to dominate the early stages of this game. Now they can play for the last shot. Sherelle Baker knocked away. Now stolen. Stolen back. Baker foul. There could have been 3 fouls called on that last exchange of steal.
She took a pretty good pop to the nose. There is the first steal. Crockett nearly comes up with it. Loose ball. Soigné mishandles. That leads to this. Georgia with a great speed and good attack. And
I like
foul.
her.
Yeah.
What a player she is out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. Almost 5 steals a game. In fact, she has such a lead in that category in the NCAA stat. She could play another 10 games, not have a steal, and she'd still win the title.
Amazing. And you know what, Mike? You normally would think, okay, Georgia's, down 4, and that's not a bad thing here. But the way they're down 4, you wonder if it has an impact in the second 20. They had such a big lead. It's not any consolation that they're only down 4.
It sure isn't. Not after you have a 15-point lead, and then you're down 4. That doesn't work. Let's check in with Holly.
Coach, what went through your mind when you were down 15 early in the game?
Well, I just thought we were completely out of sync. I mean, I didn't know what to think. I mean, we were just totally out of what we've been all about for the last 2 weeks. And I think I don't know whether we were just too hyped or whether we're a little bit tentative. I couldn't tell. But once we got into a flow, I think Renee knocking a couple threes in just changed the whole complexion of the game.
What is it about this young freshman? We thought it would be the seniors to step up tonight, but she was the one that got the momentum started.
Yeah, I think they're doing a great job on Ann. Barbara's doing everything she can. Renee just has that special quality about her. She's not afraid of anything. And now if we can get Ann Strother on track, we could be okay.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Holly.
Thank you, Holly. We're at halftime with the score. UConn 34, Georgia 30. Now let's send it to Trey Wingo. He has our halftime report.
All right, Mike, Doris, thanks very much. Trey Wingo here with Kara Lawson, Stacey Dales Schumann. Unbelievable run by UConn to end the first half, 24-5 to get back into this game.
That easy. Orbits and go. And in part by Powerade.
The coaches and everybody else pumped up for the second half after what we saw in the first half. Welcome back to Bridgeport, everybody. The reason they're so fired up is because Georgia went on a 19-2 run. UConn looked like they were dead. Then they came back with a 26-5 run for UConn.
All triggered by their defense. I thought on that side of the ball they were stellar. They scored 14 points off 10 Georgia turnovers. And even when they weren't forcing turnovers, they were contesting shots. Georgia down the stretch got passive against the pressure, did not get good looks. Shot clock runs down, contested jump shot. And Renee Montgomery, the fearless freshman, her ability to energize this team with her threes. It's not necessarily how many threes you make, it's when you make them. And her team was in desperation mode, and she responded.
The numbers only 3 out of 10, but you're right. They came, all of them, at the right time for this ball club. Exactly when they had to have them.
Georgia back to the man-to-man pressure. Shot clock underneath 10.
Montgomery a little strong on that one. Loose ball and out of bounds. UConn couldn't save it. Sharday Houston had a hand on it. Let's go to Holly.
Well, I had a chance to catch up with Georgia coach Danny Landers at the half, and I said, Coach, how do you get over that big momentum change? He said, look, I just told the players in the locker room, start over. None of that happened. Get over it. Everything that happened in that first half were mistakes we made, not anything that Connecticut did. I asked him how he'd managed foul trouble here in the second half. He was funny. He just said, I just told the players don't foul. Pretty simple.
Easier said than done. Baker from outside was short, but there's a foul inside, away from the ball on Crockett. That will be 3 on Wilnet Crockett.
Mike, we sometimes talk about great shooters needing to have short memories if they miss several in a row. Well, sometimes teams have to have short memories. So your point is well taken, Holly Rowe. Forget the first 20, get back to business if you're Georgia.
How about Tasha Humphrey, only 7 points in the first half? Starts off well here.
Tell you what, highly skilled, in, out. What do you concede with her? She'll burn you from the 15-foot, from the deep ball, off the bounce, offensive boarding it. She is a terror, Tasha Humphrey.
Strother's been very quiet. Houston, with all his great skills, really hasn't produced much.
You've got 2 very gifted offensive players. Humphrey has been far more consistent, posting up hard. Wilnet Crockett trying to body her up. Now let's go ahead and move, continue to move within the flow of the offense. She sees Crockett, thinks about giving assistance on the backdoor cut, so pulls the trigger.
Houston with such great skills coming out of high school, one of the most highly recruited players in years. And in the first round, really produced some good offensive performances in both of those games. But as you pointed out earlier, she's been very spotty.
And you don't know when it's going to come. That's the problem. And what happened prior to the tournament, Mike, is that she practiced well, and that usually translates to games.
Humphrey powering her way in, and she'll draw a foul.
Gino, I guess, does not like the call. Either that or he's frustrated with Charday's defense, but she's already hit a 15-foot jump shot. There's the reach. It looks like a pretty good strip there.
Did.
Wow.
But that's her 4th foul. And it will send Humphrey to the line. And Humphrey, one of the best free throw shooters around, 5th in the SEC at 83.5%. And Houston will have to sit down.
She goes out. They substitute Mel Thomas into the game. Now, Mel is a player who shoots threes. Whether or not she can be effective because of her foot speed against Georgia remains to be seen.
2-point game. UConn with the lead after coming back. Bad pass and not saved.
This is why he terms his team a mystery. Now, man just makes a good pass. And she's a 4-year senior. She makes a good pass. You probably get a pretty good look. Instead, it's sails out of bounds.
It's like tennis with those unforced errors. You just wonder why certain things happen. Baker goes baseline. Double team inside. Here's the turnover. Montgomery finds a wide open Strother, and Strother in turn finds a wide open Barbara Turner, and Turner has 14.
Mike, I really think it would serve teams well to stop Renee Montgomery almost on the catch.
Three-pointer in and out. More speed. Montgomery 2-on-2, tries to take it herself. No. Turner tries to save it, knocks it out of bounds. Andy Landers has the jacket back on in the second half. Both teams having trouble just handling the ball. Humphrey, nice fade away.
Oh, my goodness. How about the strength? Separation on the fadeaway jump shot. There is no defense for that kind of shot. Just count it and go the other way.
In 63 career games, she has had 27 double-doubles. I mean, she's a player. UConn still by 2. Followed by Turner. Boy, is she battling inside.
Her 5th offensive rebound. Why did she have 12 points in the first half, Mike? Because she crashed the glass. That's Barbara Turner at her best right there.
She's the leading rebounder on this team, almost 7.5 a game. UConn now stepping up the defense again the way they did the last 10 minutes of the first half. That is what has made the difference. Bodies flying on nearly every possession. Oh, what a tough shot. Corey Chambers banks one home from a wicked angle.
That's the correct shot. I mean, if you're going to use the window, Mike, that's the exact angle you use it from.
Turner, she has taken this team on her back offensively.
Well, when she's going well, she's as good a one-on-one basketball player as they have. And that was a set 2 years ago when she helped push this team into a Final Four in the 3rd national title. That was a play they ran a lot.
And look at the hustle inside. Every possession, somebody from UConn is making a play. And here's the foul on Chambers, trying to make a play defensively on this end of the court.
Well, Barbara Turner is healthy for the first time in a couple of years, and it's translated to her play on the floor. When she offensive boards it, she's dangerous. She makes a living around the rim. Now that she's going and in a flow, Gino says, okay, let's isolate her. Go one-on-one from the elbow, no defense there.
really picking up, isn't it?
Well, if it's true that your seniors set the tone, watch Wilnette Crockett. Never known, I wouldn't think, as a passionate player. She has hit the deck on a couple of occasions, this time on the entry pass. And Barbara Turner setting the tone on the offensive end, Crockett on the defensive end. And if you want to know, and it's Chris Daly who works with the post players, but it's Jamel Elliott who, to me, typifies toughness when it comes to Connecticut basketball players. You think about stingy, tough-minded, get-in-your-face kind of defense. Jamel Elliott was that player.
Well, if Barbara Turner's second-half performance isn't going to excite her teammates, nothing is, because she has just taken responsibility for this. And Baker just got an elbow in the chops, maybe in the eye as well, and then Strother drills a three. Baker really got whacked in her right eye. An inadvertent elbow, and she got it.
Barbara Turner just clearing some space. Let's go back to something that Holly Rowe was told by Gene Wariema before the game. Remember, he said it's our seniors who are going to dictate the outcome of this game. They've played a big part in this.
Baker not about to come off the court. Not with her demeanor. Hardrick back in there, 14, and Strother knocks it away on the way in. Fight for the ball. Strother had it. Jump ball, possession arrow. It's back to Georgia.
So they are doing everything with defense. People are down in defensive stance, active hands in the passing lane. This is a very team-oriented defensive unit. Aware on dribble penetration that help must come.
Here's what the seniors have done. 124 and 17. 2 titles, trying for a third. Humphrey. She good or what?
She is special. I'll tell you, I love her skills and I love her demeanor. Her team's in a little bit of a stretch where they're having trouble generating offense, so she's taking over.
Yes, 8 points in the first 5.5 minutes of the second half. Crockett goes with the left hand and scores. Well, the quality of play has picked up here in the second half.
Wilnette Crockett has a habit of playing big in the big moments. She has been stellar here tonight.
UConn up by 7. Here is a reach-in foul. It's going to be on Montgomery, I believe.
You know, Wilnette Crockett, a player who offensively has not been a force. She's got the frame to dominate. How about this spin move? A little bit of contact, but the strength to finish.
Well, she hasn't scored in double figures all year long. She only averages a shade over 3.
Looking at that move, that's surprising.
Yeah, it really is. Chambers gets it outside to Kendrick, and Kendrick knocks it down for 3. 9 points for Kendrick. UConn trying to answer, but Humphrey gets the miss. She'll bring it up herself.
Well, Charles Barkley is her idol. He did that on occasion.
Yeah, he did. But he was talking while he did it.
That's true.
Humphrey snatches the pass down with one hand, hits the turnaround.
And they are not able to guard her with one. And Coach Wariema said to his team, we are not going to double at all on Humphrey until I tell you to. You wonder at what point he decides to.
That's down to a 2-point game. Might be soon. Almost knocked away. There's the double team on Turner. And it would have been a 5-second call, but she bounced it off of Humphrey. Shot clock at 10. The game clock at 13:03. Out of the corner, Strother with a long miss. And that is going to be a foul on Mel Thomas.
I don't think that he liked that play very much, Coach Wariema, because as soon as that happened, he got Montgomery up and off the bench.
Well, she has been their best player all night long. She and Barbara Turner. Baker hasn't been able to penetrate much here in the second half. Humphrey putting it on her back. So it's Humphrey and Turner exchanging big plays. Tied at 47. Quickly back the other way, and UConn reclaims
Mike. Why allow her to go length of the floor? Stop her in the midcourt line.
Strother with a long rebound, had it stolen by Baker. And Baker with a drive, and she's fouled. She is so quick.
And she changes pace. And when that afterburner goes on, you can't stay with her from a foot speed perspective. I mean, look at that change of pace. The cross. She sold a couple of defenders on that one.
Let's go to Holly Rowe. Holly?
What we know about Sherelle Baker's defense, but what's been amazing is the transformation in her offense here in her senior year. Last year, she averaged 11 points a game. This year, in the summertime, she went down to work out with Lady Hardman, one of the all-time great Georgia players. She said she spent every single day there in the summer doing nothing but shooting all day. She made a dramatic jump this year, averaging 18 points a game. That's a 9-point swing for your senior season. Tremendous hard work made that happen.
And Holly, she has a dozen right now. In her first 3 years, she had gone over 20 points 3 times. She's done it 13 times this year. And right now, nobody can miss.
Nice drive by Green. You've got to continue with this attack mindset if you're Connecticut. And Green went right to the rim, saw an opening.
Hardwick gets it to Chambers. Georgia trying to penetrate every time, and they've got the quickness to do it. There's Baker, pulls up from 16 and hits it. That's something she couldn't do before.
Exactly, but hard work pays off. You do something over and over, it becomes muscle memory, and she is extremely confident.
Tied at 51. Boy, has this become a good ball game. These kids know what they're fighting for. Hey, what?
Keisha Swanye.
That is just, that is just cold-blooded. Then Humphrey comes back the other way. Swanye may be having the best game of her career. She has had such an impact coming into this contest. And here comes Georgia back the other way after Hunter misses. Look at the speed and the block and a foul. This will be on Crockett. That's 4 on Wilnett Crockett. And they really have no one to replace her inside defensively. Timeout on the court. UConn over Georgia with 10:56 to go here in the Bridgeport Regional Semifinal. The second game of 2. The winner will play for the regional championship. Houston and Crockett now both have 4 for UConn. You see Associate Head Coach Chris Daly asking the official for a clarification of something.
Well, incredibly, Georgia is, for a team without any depth, been able to play and not get into foul trouble. They had it happen in their first game of the year against Baylor. They had a big lead. Humphrey and Dara get in foul trouble, and they ended up losing the basketball game. But they have been very good at managing what they do defensively.
Well, isn't it true if you don't attack people off the dribble, the chances of getting them in foul trouble go down about 50%? And Baker has been great. Hits another one. Both teams have shot the ball extremely well from the free throw line tonight. Georgia 13 of 15, UConn 11 of 12. So getting to the line has been huge for both teams. UConn by 1. And now here comes Georgia with a chance to regain the lead.
Dara just did what you should do against Barbara Turner. Hand up and contest, but a cushion in case she wants to go off the dribble drive.
Baker. Hardwick. Humphrey trying to get some space in the lane. Turnaround jumper halfway down and comes out. Green. No. Offensive rebound. Turner. No, but she draws the foul. Turner just working so hard. And that foul was on Humphrey, her third. Turner, a 71% shooter, has 7 boards tonight. And missed the free throw.
Most of them on the offensive end,
Yes,
Mike.
they have been. Let's go to Holly.
Well, one of the things you'll notice about Barbara Turner is she is one of the most passionate college basketball players you've seen. She always has this look on her face and this determination, and we've seen that tonight. We asked her, where does she get that passion from? She said it came from the driveway. Growing up, she would play against her brother Cameron, and she says he would just beat her up. He would go after her. He had no mercy, and she would often end the day in tears. But the one day came when she was able to beat him. He went into the house, and he was in tears. She said, that's where I learned to work so hard, because it was hard going against my brother, and he beat me up in the driveway.
Well, she might be able to mug him now, Holly. She's a tough customer in the NCAAs. She has been sensational. A long, long three. That time by Dara is no good. UConn continues to lead by 2. Strother looking for Hunter. Hunter and Humphrey really going after each other. Humphrey playing with those 3 fouls. Well, that was just thrown toward the basket. Here's the fight for the rebound. The foul's going to be on Brittany Hunter. And she really needs to work on that offensive post move rather than just throw up a prayer.
She's been so limited by injuries, Mike. They could not play her because of that knee situation any more than 10 or 15 minutes. So very hard to get your rhythm going as a player who's used to being the focal point.
Transfer from Duke a year ago. Free throw is good from Hardrick. And we're back to a 1-point game with 9:17 left. Hardrick makes them both. We're tied at 55, and Hardrick has 5 points in this game. What do you think down the stretch, Doris? Do you see an advantage for anybody right now?
Well, you wonder about the psyches of both teams. Georgia's essentially playing a road game. Connecticut has gone through spurts where they don't score. But when Turner plays like this, completely different Connecticut basketball team.
Barbara Turner right now turning in a special performance. She has 21 points. She came into this game averaging 20 and a half in the NCAA. She has been spectacular. Baker. And Humphrey trying for the offensive rebound, may have picked up her 4th, and she did.
It was Montgomery's shooting that gave this team an energy boost in the first half. It's been the seniors here in the second half who've done the job for Connecticut. This is Barbara Turner banging bodies with Tasha Humphrey, trying to do her best, and there is clearly a push-off.
Well, Barbara Turner gives up a lot of size, height as well as girth. But she just hangs in there. So now Humphrey has to be very, very careful playing with those 4 fouls. They can ill afford to lose her. And there goes Montgomery again. Renee Montgomery has 13. Her speed and Soignier's speed has made a huge difference.
Spread the floor and allow her to use her one-on-one abilities.
And this is going to be a foul against Turner. That's 2 on Turner.
We've seen that Renee Montgomery can shoot the ball with great efficiency. Dara's larger, so she uses that speed, gets her shoulders turned, squares at the rim. My nice-looking move.
Humphrey with 19 points in the tournament. She had 23 against Marist, 24 against Hartford, to go along with a career-high 17 rebounds. Yikes.
I don't know that I've seen a women's player shoot the fadeaway jump shot with as much consistency as she's able to do. That takes strength.
And some seem to do it because they're intimidated by the defense they face. She does it because that's the shot she likes. We've got a timeout, 8:20 to go. The lead is 2 for the Huskies over the Lady Bulldogs.
It's at Ivory Ladd in North Carolina's ability to finish off number 4 Purdue with his game-winning bucket. The difference in this round for this Pontiac, $5,000 to the Carolina General Scholarship Fund.
Fearless, isn't she? North Carolina. Carolina and Tennessee will face off on Tuesday in Cleveland. Utah and Maryland. Duke against the winner of this game, LSU and Stanford. You know what? Pat Summitt, with all the problems they've had in the backcourt at point guard, has done one of her best coaching jobs, I think. And she and Gino Auriemma never get the credit they deserve because they have raised the standard so much. People expect them to do it year in and year out, so if they do a brilliant job, it's just taken for granted.
Yes, when you succeed on a consistent basis, the level of expectation entirely different.
Montgomery goes baseline, kicks it back to Strother, almost lost it. Can Turner hit it from outside? No, but got her own rebound. Wheels into the lane, missed the shot, and Humphrey playing with those 4 fouls. UConn up by 2. Georgia looking to tie as we approach 7.5 minutes. A slashing move by Baker, and the foul called on Strother, who protests her innocence. We got a timeout with 7:44 to go in the ball game. It is a 2-point contest.
Basketball Championship is brought to you by Pontiac. Vote for this round's Pontiac game-changing performance at ncaasports.com/Pontiac.
Well, we've seen performances by people really laying it on the line tonight. Neither team wanting to go home yet. And both very hopeful of having a chance to win a regional championship and go to the Final Four. Certainly both these coaches have experience there.
Well, Tasha Humphrey has been a handful for Coach Auriemma's squad, and as you go down the stretch, you wonder if it's the seniors for Connecticut that continue to make plays, because in the second 20 minutes, it's been about those players.
Sherelle Baker now 9 for 9 at the line, 17 points, and the kind of defense and quickness we have come to expect from her. She has 18 on the game, right at her average, and we're tied with 7:38 left. Strother looking inside. Why not go to Turner? Wheels into the lane, doesn't get the roll. Humphrey doing a nice job with those 4 fouls.
39 of Georgia's 59 points have come between Humphrey and Baker.
That's who they look to every game. Is that third scorer going to be there down the stretch to help?
High pick and roll with Humphrey as the shot clock gets under 10.
And Hardrick had it taken away, got a little too fancy on the dribble. 2-on-2, and Soignier really all-out hustle after she made a questionable pass. Trying a really difficult bounce pass in traffic.
Those are the only times Soignier gets in trouble. Because she's such a push guard, she's thinking all-out push all the time. There are times where you've got to change gears and slow the pace.
Well, even if the pass gets through, it's such a difficult one to handle on the run that maybe it's not the pass to throw. Strother. There it is. That's what they've been waiting for Strother to hit a bomb.
Very solid deep shooter is Ann Strother. She is a player who also has a history of big shots.
She had made 83 this season coming into this game, but her shot had been off early. UConn now in the zone.
Yes, a little 3-2 look.
Humphrey on the baseline. They get her the ball. She steps out, takes the jumper. Oh, good play. Nice tip out by Megan Dara. She knew she couldn't get the rebound, but she knew she could get a hand on it. And here's a foul on Soignier reaching in. That's 2.
Dara also knew in a foot race it was likely that Georgia was going to track that thing down first.
And Hardrick at the line. She has 5 points. Make it in and out. She is 2 out of 3 from the stripe. The lead remains at 3. And Andy Landers continuing to rotate players off that very short bench. Hardrick hits again. This is the number 3 free throw shooting team in the country. 77.7%. That's terrific. And they're 20 out of 23 tonight. Under 6 minutes to go. Turner against Humphrey. This serves two purposes. You might get Humphrey to commit that 5th foul, and Turner is your hottest player.
And she's excellent on the box if you're going to guard her with one.
Humphrey trying to return the favor. Got it. 23 for Tasha Humphrey.
I think you've still got to go in. Let Barbara Turner get on the box because Humphrey cannot afford to foul.
Boy, these teams going after each other. Here's the double team. Bad pass. Nice interception by Kendrick. She's going to wait for help. Nice decision. Then they leave her alone, and she goes into 15 and missed the shot. As she did everything right, defensively, then offensively, and could not hit the shot. Nice effort.
You'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And still, I still might, you don't take a shot if you're Connecticut until Barbara Turner has touched it on the box.
And that may be what Gino Auriemma wants to tell his kids, how he wants to play it in the last 5:06. The NCAA Women's Championship presented by Orbitz continues tomorrow on ESPN with 2 regional finals. At 7 o'clock, Utah against number 2 Maryland and Albuquerque. And then at 9, number 3 Stanford against number 1 LSU in San Antonio. The winners get a trip to Boston. We'll see you from there. Both teams available in high definition on ESPN HD. ESPN, of course, the exclusive home of the Women's NCAA Championship. Holly Rowe will be there with us. Holly, what do you have?
Well, after that emotional loss to Rutgers in the Big East tournament, the 4 seniors on this UConn team called a meeting and asked if they could meet with their coach, Gino Auriemma, by themselves. He said it was one of the longest meetings he's ever been at, and what they wanted to know is what do we have to do to be better in the postseason and to win it. He looked at him and he said, I don't think you can do it. That was blunt, and they didn't want to hear that. But he said it was the first time in 4 years those seniors got mad. They're out to prove tonight that Gino Auriemma wasn't right, that they do have what it takes, that the meeting was critical, but even more critical, can the seniors do it under pressure?
And Holly, what do you think the odds were that was his total intention to see if he could finally get them mad? And if that's Humphrey, that's 5. And that is a killer blow against Georgia.
Barbara Turner's been a force on the offensive glass. That would be number 7 on the offensive boards.
They're going to call it on Megan Dara.
The wheel move, Mike, tries to get to the rim before the defense can react. Pretty stuff.
How can that be Megan Dara? She wasn't even in the picture.
Not even close.
Wasn't even in the picture.
You see, Tasha Humphrey was laughing. We had a picture of her with a big smile on her face.
I don't blame her. I'd be smiling too, because she was the only one on defense and would have picked up, well, obviously did pick up her 5th. But if they don't call it, my buddy Paul McGuire always says it's not a penalty unless they catch you.
That's right.
And they didn't catch her. Obviously, it was her foul.
There's no question. They dodged the bullet. Barbara Turner has forced Tasha Humphrey to play on both ends, Mike. She's been stellar on the offensive end, gotten into a little bit of foul trouble on the defensive end because Barbara Turner's forced her to guard.
I'm glad they found my best angle here finally. Thank you, Tim. Tim, too, one of our brilliant photographers on this crew.
One of the all-time best, Tim, too.
Absolutely. Humphrey, it's just hard to imagine that last call. I mean, I'm happy for Humphrey and happy for Georgia, but, hey, 65-62. Here comes Baker.
Good
Boy,
defense.
Quick. Yeah, that's right.
Great
the
defense
one person
by
fast enough to counter her, Swanya. The 3. That's a heartbreaking shot in and out from Dara. Boy, that thing was dead on. 4:26 and counting. Fans of both teams really into it now. Here's Turner. Down the lane, Humphrey just let it go that time.
Yeah, remember I said at the start of this broadcast, well, she's conceding because she's got 4 fouls, but they've conceded more buckets this year than they ever would in their history, Georgia. That one you got to just let it go, and you continue to let Barbara Turner touch it if you're Connecticut.
Turner has a season-high 26, one short of her career high. Humphrey, turnaround, got it.
In between 3 white jerseys. How tough is that?
This is a battle of wills. Tino Oriema says, let's take some time off the clock. Soignier being guarded by Chambers. Down the lane goes Houston. Oh, a travel. Holy cow. I did not see that. That looked like a good drive. And there had been a couple of strange calls in this game, Doris.
Well, I thought she had the 1-2 attack the rim, so a very tough one to go against Connecticut. They escaped with the non-call on Humphrey, and this one's going down to the wire. With this particular move, they isolated Sharday Houston. Good call for by the officials. 1, 2, 3. And see, we get the benefit of multiple angles and multiple looks. These officials are doing it on the fly. Coach Oriema disagrees, but they were absolutely right in that case.
Doris doing the replay, so I don't have to apologize over it. I will apologize now. It was my call that it wasn't a travel. Obviously, it was. It's a big play, gives the ball back to Georgia. They're down only 1 possession with 3:25 to go. What a good ball game this has been. Tremendous effort on both sides.
Really good team defense on Humphrey. Everyone is aware on the catch.
Leaning in against Turner. No basket and a foul on UConn. And the UConn bench going crazy again. Fouls on Turner, her 3rd.
You see Barbara Turner. She is trying initially to 3-quarter round. Look at all those white shirts, and that's a good call. I thought she bumped up into her, Mike.
Humphrey hits the free throw. She's 8 out of 9 from the line tonight is Humphrey, 26 points. And she is better than 83% from the line. 1-point game. This may be the last team with the ball wins.
Again, you have to go through Turner. Continue to use that.
This time they go inside to Sharday Houston, and Houston finally gets a basket that means something in this game.
Yeah, good call from the sideline because Georgia exchanged on that high-low down screen.
Baker past Soignier, missed the shot. Got to credit Soignier with speed enough to at least make it different defensively.
And now they'll just take some time, set what they want.
Turner steps out. Darrow with her. Houston again against Humphrey. Spins and missed it. Those are the buckets you got to make.
Big time. She always goes back to that spin move, Sharday Houston.
Humphrey, jump hook. Offensive rebound. The follow is good by Kendrick. The guards for Georgia. The little people at 5'7", getting in there and making big plays.
Now they are going through Humphrey on every possession, so there is going to be an entry pass. She's going to take a tough shot. Look at the 4 white jerseys. Turn, Mike, not find a body. They just turn and follow the shot instead of finding a body, and that is why they get the offensive board.
You know, it's not only the speed of the guards to get rebounds, it's the understanding of angles and where that ball is going to come. I mean, if you play this game long enough, you can tell where a miss is going to come, and they are there, and they're using their speed to get there first.
That's right. What did Bill Russell say? I got 90% of my rebounds before the shot was even taken. Because based on the angle, he knew where it was coming off. Now,
that's a lot of rebounds.
That's a lot of rebounds. Now, you know Humphrey is going to just, you've got it. She's conceding shots in the post because she does not want to pick up that 5th foul. So Sharday and Barbara, they just keep working those 2 in the post.
1-point game, under 2 minutes. Turner steps out. So Houston in the low block. Down the lane. Turner with a left hand.
Dara stood up at the free throw line. Barbara Turner gave a little shot fake, and Dara stood up, Mike. If you stand up as a defender, you could turn the lights out.
A career high 28 points. And the three from Baker. We're tied at 71.
Wow, big shot.
Baker with 21. What effort. Or Chambers, excuse me. Block. Fight for the ball. A foul will be on Strother. And you send Georgia to the line, you're giving them 2 points. They don't miss. I'm a little surprised Houston has gotten the ball 3 of the 4 last possessions because she hasn't been that consistent a scorer.
She's so capable, and she has shown a willingness to attack the rim. And with the 4 fouls inside, that's where you have to go.
Georgia exceptional again tonight from the line, but not that time. 10 of 11 for Baker. 11 of 12, a 1-point game. The first Georgia lead of the second half, Doris.
Yeah, let's see what they run here. They're running both Charday and Barbara at the elbow. This is straight isolation for Barbara Turner.
Turner backing in against Humphrey. No. Tipped outside. UConn ball. Strother for 3. She hit her last one from over there and hits this one. UConn's up by 2. Holy cow.
Now you got a choice. You can go inside to Humphrey. Be aware that Connecticut's had great assistance around her. Look at that Soigné. 2 bodies.
Baker. Humphrey kept it alive. Baker gets it back. A 3 out of the corner yet. Kendrick. Oh, man, what a game. Georgia reclaims the lead.
Well, the seniors from Connecticut have led the way through the second 20 minutes. Turner has been stellar. An offensive board by Connecticut. Strother slides to the corner. She sees the pressure coming, trying to stay spread. Big shot by Ann Strother under duress of the shot clock and the pressure of a big moment. She sticks it. Now, Humphrey, I thought, was close to picking up an offensive foul, but it led to this. She was able to tip it out, and they got a second chance opportunity, and she buries it.
You know, those 2 big threes that Strother has hit here late in the second half were shots she really didn't want to take a year ago. She was very tentative with that when the pressure was on. She would rather try to set somebody up than take it herself, even though she's such a good outside shot. Now what do you do with 20.3 seconds left?
Well, you see that Georgia has no timeouts for this last 20 should Connecticut score. Now, they don't have the opportunity to use that. So it's interesting that you use one after the made shot to set your defense here. But I think, obviously, you can continue to attack inside. I think you've got to make really good decisions. And this is what everybody questioned about the Connecticut guards. Montgomery and Soigné. In big moments, would they make good decisions? Well, guess what? At least initially, the ball's going to be in their hands. They're going to go through Turner. I wouldn't be surprised to see that 1-4 set high or a high-low situation with Ann Strother in the corner, Barbara Turner in that, little twosome triangle situation for Connecticut.
And a tip of the hat to Tasha Humphrey, because she's played a long time under a lot of pressure with 4 fouls. She should have fouled out of the ball game. The officials called a foul on Megan Dara, who wasn't even in the picture. But you take the breaks when you can get them.
There's no question. Yeah, look at the 2 stars that we talked about at the top of this telecast. They have come up large.
That's wonderful. Just a tremendous performance by both. Many times against each other. I mean, shoulder to shoulder, fighting inside.
Head to head. You're right.
For live stats and game recaps from all rounds of every championship, Just go to NCAAsports.com, the official online home of all 88 NCAA champions.
Now, your thought here, obviously, Mike, you want 2 shots at the win if you're Connecticut. But here's the thing about that. You can't go so early that Georgia could board it and have an opportunity on the other end. But you've got to go fast enough that should you miss it, you can at least have a second chance to win the ball game.
UConn, if they score, could choose to stop the clock with one of their 2 remaining timeouts. Georgia, as Doris pointed out, does not have a timeout, but that has worked so well in teams' favors this year in the tournament, taking the ball out of bounds and hustling it up the court without a timeout.
And I'm surprised Georgia not come with a little bit of soft pressure, but
let them go.
They're going to settle in.
Here's Tawanye. Turner down to 10 seconds. Turner wants the ball. She's got it with 5 seconds to go under a lot of pressure. Oh, what a shot! Are you kidding? Oh! That's remarkable! How did Barbara Turner make that shot? And then how did Humphrey almost pull off a miracle?
That play appeared to be busted at a certain point in it. They had initially lined up Strother and Turner on the same side of the floor, Mike, which is what we thought they'd do.
This was Barbara Turner saying, I'm not going home, not now. I mean, her ability to shoot the ball outside, she doesn't have much of that. She has never shown much of that. But she hit it when she absolutely had to. Watch this. A fadeaway 3. She's a 27% three-point shooter with Humphrey in her face. Holy cow.
31 points by the senior, who took it personally when people said that she couldn't win it. And this is the look Humphrey gets. This thing catches iron, Mike.
Oh. Let's go to Holly.
Okay, Barbara, 5 seconds left. You were screaming for that ball. What was going through your mind?
I just wanted the game in my hands at the time. You know, I saw they had collapsed. They were playing us for the penetration. I hadn't hit any threes all game, and you know, I just wanted to take the last shot because I'm a senior, and if my season's going to end, I want it to be in my hands.
It was a new career high for you. What was your mindset coming into this game tonight, and how did you do it?
Well, I knew it was going to be tough to guard Tasha Humphrey on the inside, and you know, she played a heck of a game. I have to give her all the credit, but you know, I wanted to make it just as hard for her to guard us inside also, and you know, that's what we try to focus on during the game, and I don't care. I'm just happy we won.
Gino told you seniors in that meeting he didn't think you could do it this far into March. How did you prove him wrong?
We just continued to fight throughout the game. You know, I don't know. I got to go. The fans,
they're calling her. She's got to go.
Just another average game in the NCAA tournament. Here's the way they'll line up North Carolina and Tennessee in the Cleveland region. Utah and Maryland and Albuquerque. Duke and UConn here in Bridgeport. LSU and Stanford will play in San Antonio. Holy cow. What a night for college basketball. What a night for Barbara Turner. The game of her life. 31 points, a career high, and a miracle shot at the end. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, the exclusive home of the women's NCAA. For Doris Burke, Holly Rowe, and our entire crew, this is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching. Let's go to Trey Wingo.
Mike, unbelievable. I hope you had as much fun calling it as we had watching it. Welcome into the postgame show. Trey Wingo here with Lawson, Stacey Dales, and we thought Purdue, North Carolina was going to be the game of the day. That was just a warm-up to what we saw at the end of the night between Georgia and UConn. Guys, unbelievable run by UConn at the end of the half to get back into it, and unbelievable finish by both of these teams. I believe it was 4 straight three-pointers to finish this game. 2 for UConn and 2 for Georgia.
Well, yeah, I mean, Corey Chambers starts it all off and hits a huge three-pointer. But how about the seniors for Connecticut? Ann Strother with the baseline three-pointer from the corner. And then Barbara Turner, unbelievable shot. In Georgia, did everything right defensively in that play. And she just jumped up and threw it in.
And what's impressive for UConn is the youngsters kept them in the game in the first half. It was Renee Montgomery that spurred that comeback, that huge deficit for Connecticut in the first half. And then the seniors said, okay, you guys carried us in the first half. I'm Barb Turner. I want to take that last shot. I love the fact that she wanted the ball in her hands at the end of the game.
And I think that's an excellent point because, listen, that was a good shot, but it was a shot Georgia was willing to give. I mean, give Barbara Turner all the credit in the world. Georgia did such a great job defensively to make it almost impossible for Barbara Turner to make that shot. But the key really seemed to be, guys, down the stretch, especially for UConn, they knew that Tasha Humphrey had 4 fouls. And every time down the floor, they were attacking her either to get the easy bucket or maybe get her to pick up that 5th foul.
And not only that, Trey, but Megan Dara isn't exactly the best defender in the country. And when they didn't attack Tasha Humphrey, they attacked Megan Dara. It was the bigs for UConn that got it done. Terrific job, excellent game plan, and good use of the game plan in terms of going with your bigs that you need.
Again, take a look at these final plays here. Just an unbelievable finish, back and forth. First of all, Strother, so maligned for much of her career, comes up with what we think is the hugest shot of her career, and Georgia comes right back.
Well, here you have, I mean, there's a scrum for the ball, and then Alexis Kendrick, another senior. You've got a senior in Ann Strother, a senior in Alexis Kendrick, and then the final play, Stacey, Barbara Turner.
2 players on her. I mean, that is remarkable. She shoots, Doris said, 27% from the tray. But how about Tasha Humphrey? This is just a sophomore. You will not see another player like Tasha Humphrey come along in a while because she's so good with that little fadeaway. She's only going to get better. She's just a sophomore.
And we thought that bucket might have been good. It was on track all the way. So here we go. This is the Elite Eight. We are all set. On Monday, we're going to start with Utah and Maryland. They'll meet for the final of the Albuquerque region. Winner of that game moves on to the Final Four, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Then the late game from the San Antonio region, LSU and Stanford. Winner there moves on to the Final Four. And then on Tuesday, it's North Carolina against Tennessee, the 1-2 showdown, and also 1-2 showdown, Duke, Connecticut on that side of the equation. Of those 4 games that you're looking at right now, what excites you the most?
North Carolina, Tennessee.
Without question. Since the bracket came out on Selection Monday.
I mean, those 2 have been on a collision course, I think, to play each other in Cleveland in the regional final. I mean, I can't wait for that game. The matchups all over the floor. Ivory Latta, Candace Parker, Orlena Larkins, Nikki Ann. I mean, you could go on and on. Just a great complement of players for both teams. I'm excited to see that.
And Kara, both these teams got out rebound today. And that's what they do. They board the basketball. I can't wait to see the battle of the paint for both of these teams, Carolina and Tennessee.
And then Duke, look, Duke of all the teams maybe in the regional final, especially in today's action, clearly look to be the most dominant. Will UConn have what it takes to step up? Now, they played a great game against Georgia. They'll have to play better against Duke.
They're going to have to play better all-around game. We're talking about the #1 scoring team in the country, and they have kind of been under the radar. People haven't talked about them, but this is a team that can come at you in so many different ways, and it's the size of Duke on the inside that I think could give Connecticut a little bit of trouble.
I like that Allison Bales is starting. Gail Getzencourt saves those starting spots. Who's playing the best in practice? She's given the nod to Bales, and it's made a huge difference on the inside.